Published by Microprose Studios of Sid Meier's fame, Sword of the Samurai was unleashed upon an unsuspecting world in 1989. I stumbled across this hidden little gem in the bargain bin of my local game store in the early 90s. Even by then, the blocky, pixelated graphics were looking dated. They say beauty is in the eye of the beholder, and I knew I was in love. In its purest form, Sword of the Samurai is an action strategy game composed of various mini-games. Your goal is to rise through the ranks of feudal Japan from royal retainer to daimyo and eventually securing the title of shogun. To do this, you will need to crush your rivals by any means necessary. The beauty of the game is that you get to decide how this crushing is done. Will you meet your rivals in honourable one-on-one combat to separate the wheat from the chaff like real men? Or would you rather use the dark arts of subterfuge and topple your rivals from the shadows? The choice is yours. As you make your way up the ranks, you will have to build honour and gather an army by performing honourable deeds. In order to reach the top, you will need to master the 3 minigames that are the essence of Sword of the Samurai. The first one we will look at is a very 1980s top-down shooter comprising of a few different scenarios. Here you will be required to massacre scores of fanatical Buddhist holy men, or firmly ram the boot of oppression up the posterior of some starving uppity peon who has had the audacity to complain about their lot in life. The controls for this game are basic. You attack your enemies with either ranged or melee weapons depending on their proximity to you, using the attack button and arrow keys. Fairly simple stuff. The controls can also feel a little clunky and the movement unresponsive. The AI is pretty stupid. The enemies only stop trying to storm a room you have been hiding in after a 10-foot wall of cadavers is built up outside. Nevertheless, this little minigame will give you quite a few hairy moments that will definitely make you sweat. Getting hit once slows you down by half and makes completing the level a lot more challenging. Get hit twice and you're dead. The next minigame in my opinion is the worst of the 3 and what I would loosely describe as strategy. Basically you pick one of several formations and either attack or defend. Then, judging by the animations, you dry hump your enemies off the field of battle and into submission. As a general rule of thumb, the army with the most troops wins. As the game progresses, you get more and more troops until you have a complete army filled with even cavalry and musketmen. The only real control you have over your troops is to point them in the direction you wish them to go. My favourite minigame is when I get to dabble in some kenjutsu to prove to my daimyo and the rest of Japan that I know how to work the pointy end of a sword better than that loudmouthed roving swordmaster that just turned up outside the gates of my castle and managed to talk himself into a good old-fashioned murdering. As in the previous minigames, the controls are clunky, slow, and take a little getting used to. It is strange that this somehow adds to the sense of peril and conversely to the enjoyment. Beware, however, the greater your success, the more the envious eyes of your rivals and fellow retainers will turn towards you. It always starts with some thinly veiled threat or begging letter, and ends up with some fucker sneaking round your manor in the dead of night trying to murder you in your sleep. The Machiavellian tactics work both ways. You may use intrigue to humiliate or eliminate your rivals until you are clear favourite to replace the leader of your clan if anything unfortunate should happen to him. Interspersed between these minigames there are various other things to do, like getting married and having children, which is particularly important for securing your dynasty as your oldest son will carry on your legacy in the instance of your death or retirement. You may also raise taxes, practice kenjutsu, go courting, and even visit friends for a cup of tea. So what we have here is a game that does a little bit of everything quite purely, but still somehow manages to pull out a memorable and enjoyable pick up and play gaming experience. How can you not love a game that gives you the opportunity to visit a rival, insult their ancestors and make them cower like a monkey? If you're looking for a game that has flash graphics, a soundtrack that doesn't consist mainly of bleeps and or plenty of depth, then this game is not for you. However, if you're looking for a game where you can cut down hordes of enemies, engage in Mortal Kombat with sword-wielding ninjas, a game where you can crush your enemies and see them driven before you, and do it all with a zero learning curve, then this game is most definitely for you.